Hey, hello everybody. It's great to be here, and I'm pretty humbled to be on the stage with such amazing speakers. I've enjoyed the talk so far, so here I am. When I asked Doug, I said, Doug, what do you want me to talk about? And he said, well, talk about yourself. But I don't really want to talk too much about myself, but I'll give you a little bit about my background, and then I'll move into my connection with Goodwill, which is what Doug was referring to just a minute ago. So I have been in Edmonton since 1994. I'm not from here, and when Doug said I've got over 30 years experience, that's, wow, I'm getting old, I'm getting up there. I have a business degree with a major in finance, and I started my career in financial services, but quickly learned that wasn't the career for me. I really wanted a people-focused career. I went from BMO to TELUS. I was there for about 10 years. And then from there to University of Alberta, and I was there for about 10 years as well. I had some short stints at St. Michael's Health Group and UBC, and then I joined Goodwill in December 2021. So Goodwill's mission states, through the power of work, Goodwill provides individuals with disabilities or other barriers opportunity to enhance their lives. So I underline power of work in this statement here. That was my initial draw to Goodwill. When I worked at University of Alberta, I worked in career services, and that meant I helped students find their postgraduate degree or postgraduate career, and I love that work. It was very fulfilling to connect students, young people, to their career. So that was the first thing that drew me to Goodwill, but I had no clue how much Goodwill did until I started doing my research for the interview, till I had the interview and I had a conversation with my now boss, Dale Monahan, the CEO. But really, I really have started to learn. I'm still learning every day about the things that Goodwill does. And so today I'm going to tell you about all the amazing things Goodwill does. This is Ethan. Ethan was born with a very rare genetic disease, or it's called 18q deletion. On the left there, that's him learning to walk. His dad is an engineer, and he built that neat walker for him so he could learn to walk. And on the right, Ethan just turned 5, and he just graduated from preschool, and he's in kindergarten now. He's got a full-time aide. The reason I'm showing Ethan, he's my great-nephew, actually. And when he was born, my niece, his mom, was told that he would never amount to anything. He wouldn't walk, he wouldn't talk, he wouldn't crawl, he wouldn't do anything. And similar to what Katie talked about, when she talked about her daughter, I think my niece has said Ethan's been the greatest joy and blessing in her life. And I would say for our family, that's been the case. Ethan has already benefited from the programs at Goodwill, and I'm going to talk about that at the end. But he's someone that for sure will need an organization like Goodwill, whether it's through some of our programs that we offer. He definitely has some delays, but he is an absolute joy. So that's my personal connection to Goodwill. So now I'm going to talk about Goodwill. As Doug mentioned, we've been around for 60 years. Goodwill Industries of Alberta is independent. So all Goodwills across the globe are independent. Goodwill is a global brand, but we are independent. We share the brand, we share learning, we network with each other, and we learn from each other, but we are independent. We've been around for 60 years, and we have just passed over 1,000 employees. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say that yet, Dale. First, I'm going to talk about the impact and the programs that Goodwill has for our employees. We have a lot of great benefits. We've improved our benefits this year. We have a new Good Team Wellness strategy that we're launching out for our team members to really treat them well. As you can imagine, with our 1,000 team members in our thrift stores, we have a lot of frontline employees that make a lower income. We pay higher than minimum wage, and we're very proud of that. Goodwill Cares is one of our new initiatives, and Goodwill Cares is in my department, so I'm super excited about it. It officially launched this year. Some of our Goodwill Cares team members are in the audience. Goodwill Cares provides a life coach to every single team member at Goodwill. We have launched this year in Edmonton, and we're in the process of hiring 2 life coaches in Calgary called Goodwill Cares Navigator as we speak. So by the end of this year, we will have 6 team members in this program, providing support to all of our team members across the province. So it's a pretty amazing concept. It's a concept we learned about from another Goodwill. So I talked about sharing information. This is one that we've shared with other Goodwills, and we're learning about from them as well. So I'm going to talk about our employees. As Doug mentioned, I think he said 22% of our employees self-disclose they have a disability. We believe it's actually higher. As Katie mentioned, a lot of people don't like to disclose they have a disability. And we have a very engaged workforce. So we do an employee engagement survey every year. This is our 2022 results, but 2023 were similar. When we surveyed our team members, 85% of our team members completed the survey, and 89% said that they were either satisfied or very satisfied for working at Goodwill, which when you think about it is pretty amazing. The bulk of our team members work frontline roles in retail, in warehousing, and so to see this kind of satisfaction rate really speaks to the culture at Goodwill. I'm going to talk about our planet and how we make a positive impact to our planet. So as you can imagine, we take in donations from the community. So we don't have much say in what we take in, and we make the best with what we have, and we turn around and sell it. But it means that sometimes we're donated items that either are damaged or we can't sell. We're not just going to send that to landfill. So we have a fair number of sustainability initiatives. Our Director of Sustainability and Innovation is here today, and he started with Goodwill in 2017. And you'll see on the left, our diversion from landfill rates has gone up quite significantly since Mortimer started with us in 2017. Mortimer did waste audits to find out what we were throwing out, sending to landfill. And then he initiated a large number of programs, recycling, upcycling, repurpose programs to reduce that number. So in 2022, we were at 87% diversion from landfill, but that was before our Calgary Impact Center opened, and that's where our initiatives take place. We anticipate that number to be much higher in 2023, and we are excited about that. So in terms of numbers, you see on the right-hand side, furniture repaired, and towels and t-shirts. Those are some initiatives I'm going to talk about because they sit in my portfolio, how we're diverting those items from landfill. So I like to say I have the best job at Goodwill, but I'm sure I'll have lots of people argue with me who are here today. As Doug mentioned, I'm the Vice President of Mission Impact. That means any programs that support and align with our mission are in my portfolio. The first area I'll talk about is Career Connections. So Career Connections, these are our employment programs. Career Connections has been around for quite a few years. There's always different ideas about how many years it's been around. It's been under different names. But we run employment programs to support people with disabilities or other barriers to find work. Some of our folks that are with us at Career Connections, they're really only looking for volunteer work, but we support them as well. And I think the next slide is a video. Okay, so this is a video of Brian, Doug, and James, and they are volunteers with our Career Connections department. And it's... Hey!
The boys, as we call the 3 gentlemen, they work in our repacking area. They will do anything from repacking potatoes, kids' snacks, going through corn, making sure it's all good.
Their favorite is rotten potatoes, where they have to sort through and find the good ones.
Really, whatever we need them to do, and they're always happy to do it.
Good people, good staff, and good people like Brian and Doug and Carrie and Braden. Yeah. And all this woman over here.
This is like an awesome place to be. The people themselves are fantastic. And if you haven't been here for a little bit, as soon as you come back, everybody's, where you been? Where you been? Where you been? Where you been? So they always get told they're having too much fun.
I like working with seniors as my boss. I work in a part-time. I'm gonna do this for my family.
I like to be more out the house, so I can do more things out in the community and help others.
Truth is, if we open our doors and no volunteers come in, we can't get the work done. It's as simple as that. Last year they gave over 120,000 hours, over 2,000 volunteers and 600 groups. That's the impact that Edmontonians as volunteers have on their community.
Donate more to the food bank. Come down and help with the food bank.
So Brian, James, and Doug, they're part of our PDD program. So that's Persons with Developmental Disabilities. And that's been our longest running program at Career Connections, actually. One of our newer programs, and this program is in Calgary, is our Opportunity Accelerator program. So this program supports individuals with a self-disclosed disability and helps them find work and helps them maintain their work. We already have 23 clients in this program, and it just started up in June, so we're pretty excited about this program and this team. Beyond Jobs is our brand new program in Edmonton, and this is a little bit different than some of the other programs we've offered. We're pretty excited about it. It is a program that supports women with barriers to employment, specifically childcare. So we're there to support these women find childcare, find a job, and then wraparound support. So similar to our Goodwill Cares Navigators, we're providing wraparound supports to these clients to ensure that their lives and their families have success. We have a couple of clients already, and we are seeing a lot of traction for this program in the community. There's a lot of need for it. Our Employer Inclusion Accelerator program. So this program kind of does what Zachary talked about with helping employers hire people with disabilities. So simple things like looking at their website and making sure it's accessible right through to hiring, to onboarding, to coaching, and retaining employees with disabilities. This program runs in Calgary and Edmonton, and it's been running for about a year. We have served over 40 clients so far, and we are excited. We also are seeing lots of traction for this one, and it's such a good-looking team there. That's the team. So Goodwill at Work is a group of micro-social enterprises with the sole purpose of providing employment for people with disabilities. So I took a look at our HR system last week. We currently have 48 team members reporting to the Goodwill at Work manager, Lucas, who's here today. Most of those are paid employees. There's a couple of volunteers, but it's an amazing program. And when I first started at Goodwill, I asked Lucas, I said, what's your biggest challenge? And he said, I just want to hire more people with disabilities. And I would say that makes him the perfect person for running this department, but it's also what drives me as well. I just want to create more opportunities. And when we interview people and meet people doing this work, it's just amazing the difference it makes in their lives. And I'm going to tell you a few stories about a few individuals here. The cleaning cloth program is how Goodwill at Work started. So in the sustainability slide a few slides ago, I pointed out the t-shirts and textiles that are diverted from landfill. That's through this program. So in this program, our team with disabilities sorts through the unsold t-shirts and towels and then cuts them up with special machines, packages them up, and we sell them in our stores and other locations. This program has been running in Edmonton for quite a few years, and we just launched in Calgary this year, thanks to some funding from Alberta Eco Trust Foundation. So this has been a foundational program for us at Goodwill at Work. Our TELUS program. So this program's been running for about a year in Edmonton and about 6 months in Calgary. In this program, we partner with TELUS, and we're currently providing employment for 4 individuals with disabilities in Alberta, plus their supervisors. And the team members walk the neighborhoods and deliver marketing materials to new neighborhoods, advertising TELUS' service. One of our individuals on this team in Edmonton, she started a year ago, and she was not very talkative when she first started. We had a barbecue a few weeks ago, and she was sitting behind me, and she was sitting with the board chair of Goodwill, who's here today as well, and I could hear her talking and having a great conversation with the board chair. A year ago, she never would have done that. She was very quiet and shy, and there's so many examples of team members that get these jobs, make a difference, have success, their confidence grows, and you see them just blossom. It's just been amazing. Canadian Linen is another one of our partners that we've been working with for about a year as well. And this is a picture of Raheem. He's sitting here. And this program, we take hangers from Canadian Linen, and we have to sort through them and organize them, get rid of any that are damaged, and tidy them up and put them on racks. It's quite an overwhelming process, and we were struggling to find the right person to do this job. Carrie, Raheem's coach, said, you know what, why don't you try Raheem out? He's been looking for a job for a long time and has really struggled. So he came over to our Impact Center where this work is done, and he tried out this job for a couple of days, and he is just killing it. He's doing so awesome. I go in there, and he's got goals every day where he has goals he needs to meet with how many racks he can process, and it's increasing all the time. So now he's been hired on as a paid employee. But what's neat about that, when I used to see Raheem a year ago, every time you'd walk in, you'd see him, you'd say, hey, Raheem, how are you? And he'd say, I'm good, how is your family? And that's all he would say. And you could tell he was just saying it. Someone told him once that's how he could, have a nice greeting. But he wasn't really listening. But now when you talk to him, he interacts with you. He talks to you. He wears his Goodwill shirt every day because Mortimer told him one day that he loved it. So I've seen Raheem blossom, and it's amazing. These are some of the other partners that we work with at Goodwill at Work. Suncor's been a long-standing partner. Ecol, Sky Blue is our janitorial company. I'll talk about that in a minute. Axe Monkeys has a rage room if you ever want to get your frustrations out. And we sell them unsold glass and ceramics. We package them up in our facility, sell them to Axe Monkeys, and then they have them in their rage room. Our We Shine crew. Another part of Goodwill at Work, this is our janitorial company. So we now partner with our commercial janitor, Sky Blue, and we have team members, most of the team is here, that cleans in partnership with our janitorial company and cleans some of our locations. We are currently looking at different options to expand this program. We have some special projects, but there may be more from this team coming soon. And this is Repair for Good. So Repair for Good is a program where we refinish and repurpose furniture. So when Mortimer started in 2017, he did a waste audit, as I mentioned, and the biggest item going to landfill was furniture. So this program was born. And in this program, we have a lead trainer who teaches volunteers with disabilities employability skills, so things as simple as showing up for your shift, calling when you're not going to be able to make it, and teamwork and basic construction skills. So this has been a very successful program. We have some amazing furniture the team makes. Those minion dressers are still for sale on our website. So if you have a child in your life that would like those. We've just expanded this program to Calgary as well. Again, thanks to a funding from Alberta Eco Trust Foundation. And the coffee cart. So this gal here, Cindy, is everybody's favorite person that works at Goodwill. Cindy is a volunteer with our coffee cart, and she is not seeking paid employment. When I started in December 2021, I met Cindy, and she said, Heather, I'm independent, and she was very excited. Cindy came through our PDD program with Career Connections, and she volunteers at the coffee cart at the outlet store at our Impact Center, and she gives away coffee to our shoppers for donations. She is a dose of positivity. Mortimer sent me the picture of him and Cindy the other day, and he said he's getting his dose of positivity with Cindy in the lunchroom. It's a great opportunity, though, for people to learn skills. Many of the individuals that start at the coffee cart end up getting a paid job, either at Goodwill at Work or elsewhere at Goodwill. We have a new initiative, Men for Good. So this is still in pilot phase. In fact, some of these pictures only came last week. Mortimer sought funding from the City of Edmonton, and we purchased commercial sewing machines and washer and dryer with the intent of creating mending program to teach people with disabilities or other barriers how to sew and mend products and upcycle, recycle textiles at the same time. So the pictures on the left and the right was Earth Day last year. Mortimer held an event where he had people from the community come in and learn to sew denim bags. And there's Mortimer with his daughter holding up the bag that they sewed. The team at Goodwill at Work has been making some bags and getting them ready to sell. We haven't sold any yet. But last week, the team put together these great aprons. So there's Lucas there modeling an apron made out of denim. So we were excited to see that. So we're always looking for new ideas and new initiatives. Goodwill's quite an entrepreneurial, innovative organization, and we get to try lots of different things in our department. It's fun. And this is the last program I'm going to talk about. This is You Can Ride Too. So this is a program, a partner program with Goodwill. We house this at our Impact Center. We have over 200 bicycles in inventory. So these are bicycles, adaptive bicycles for children with disabilities that would otherwise not be able to ride a bike. So these bikes are often very expensive, like thousands of dollars. And so to buy a bicycle for your child who has a disability, and they may only be able to ride it for a year or two, and they grow, and pretty soon they don't have a bike anymore. So in this program, the child comes in and works with a volunteer physiotherapist and bike mechanic, gets a bike custom fit to their disability and their needs, and then they lease the bike for the summer for a very minimal or even no cost. So it's a great program. The little guy on the red bike is my great-nephew, actually, Ethan. And he was not able to ride a bike until he got a bike from You Can Ride Too. He has a big sister, so he was pretty excited to be able to ride a bike with his big sister, thanks to You Can Ride Too. And that's it. That's all I had to talk about Goodwill.
Don't go too far, okay? I have a couple questions for you, and don't worry, the president and CEO of Goodwill is in the room. I won't get you fired, I promise. Honestly, you haven't been with Goodwill too long, but what's been your awakening moment or your aha moment that really stood out?
I would say it is a little bit about when Lucas said, I just want to hire more people with disabilities. I just want to create more opportunities. So that's one thing. But truly, it's seeing these individuals blossom. I mean, I can name off so many and tell so many stories of individuals that came in and were really quiet and shy. They start working at Goodwill at Work. That's the one I can think of off the top of my head. And they just blossom. And so it really shows me the purpose of meaningful work, working on a team, getting out, socialization, contributing to society is so impactful. So I say that's it.
Katie spoke earlier about her daughter being her inspiration. You talked about your niece being your inspiration. Dora, I'm not going to make you cry, I promise. But how has she really played a role in the past year and a half for you?
Well, and it's funny because Ethan, lots of his disabilities are not visible, actually. So sometimes I don't even think about him having a disability. As he grows older, I think that will become more so. But when I see him growing older and I see he has an aide and he's in kindergarten and he needs help, it's more meaningful because he's going to need help from something like Goodwill or a program like Goodwill or an organization like Goodwill. So yeah, it does bring a lot of meaning to me.
Sorry, I said niece, nephew.
Yeah,
my apologies, my apologies. I'm nervous.
I actually have a niece with disabilities as well.
Oh, there we go.
You were reading my mind.
Heather, thank you very much, especially for all the work you do at Goodwill. We really appreciate it. Usually I save Goodwill to the very end, but I did it in the middle for a very specific reason this time around, as we have two very special guests to round out our speakers. So, ladies and gentlemen, Heather Hicks.